What's going on, Cyber Engineers? It is James Thomas, or Cyber D Money, and we are going to go over my third place Denver, Colorado Cyber Dragon deck from the regional qualifier. I went 7-1 that day with pure Cyber Dragon. So here is the deck profile, and we're going to start with the main deck, which is 40 cards. So first off, we got triple copies of Cyber Dragon, which is pretty standard for the deck. It is the main card of the deck because it's a Cyber Dragon deck. And we got triple copies of Cyber Dragon Core, which is your go-to normal summon, your first and foremost normal summon. When it's normal summon, you add a Cyber Spell or Trap card from your deck to your hand. Or if it's in the graveyard while your opponent controls monsters and you don't, you can banish it to special summon a Cyber Dragon monster from the deck to the field. Next up, we play triple copies of Cyber Dragon Herz, which is basically has great synergy with Galaxy Soldier, which we'll explain a little bit later. Basically, if it's sent to the graveyard, doesn't matter if it's in your hand, deck, XYZ material, or whatever, you can add a Cyber Dragon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And the interesting thing is, Cyber Dragon Core, as well as Natcher and Veer and even Herz itself, they count as Cyber Dragon while in the graveyard, so you can grab like Core back from the graveyard using Herz. We played triple copies of Cyber Dragon Natcher. There's been a divide in the community. Some people like 1, others like 2, and others like 3. I play 3 copies because I want to have as many chances to have my machine duplication targets as possible. And it's really not that bad going first, or opening with it. Like, you can discard a Cyber Dragon from your hand to special summon it, and then special summon the Cyber Dragon off its effect. This will be your second most go-to normal summon, because you also get the special summoning ability of it from the graveyard when you do normal summon it. And you can special summon a machine with 2100 attack or defense from your graveyard when it's normal summoned or special summoned. And then we have the 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Veer, which is actually good. A lot better than people give it credit for, because you can actually chain block Ash Blossom, at least in the North America. Because here's what you do. You normal summon Cyber Dragon Core, and its effect will activate as Chain Link 1. And because Veer triggers off of its normal summon, you activate Veer as Chain Link 2, so they can't really Ash Blossom the Cyber Dragon Core, which is very good. And granted, sometimes you will prefer them to Ash Blossom your Core, if you have like a machine dupe in hand, so they don't Ash Blossom that, but like, preventing them from ashing your Core is pretty good most of the time. Next up, we play 2 Galaxy Soldier. Now, contrary to the amount that you see right here, I like 3 copies in the deck. I think even with Summon Sorceress banned, 3 copies is optimal. I'm only running 2 because I don't have room for the 3rd copy. I would have to go over 40 cards in the main deck for a 3rd copy, and I did not want to do that. Still, 3 is optimal, but I play 2 just for space restraints. Then we play 1 copy of Jizakuro. I debate cutting this out, but it is pretty good when your opponent has like a negate on the board that you want to out. Just like a Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, Borderload Savage Dragon, anything else that might prevent you from, you know, getting your effects off. You just tribute over it, summon Jizakuro to the other side of the field, and with Jizakuro, Chimeratech Fortress is live all the time. So you can basically just tribute over their negation, summon a Cyber Dragon, contact Fuse for a 2000 Fortress, which is neat. So yeah, I have no regrets about keeping Jizakuro in. And for hand traps, we play triple copies of Cyframe Gear Gamma, and of course the mandatory Cyframe driver that you have to have in the deck to resolve Gamma. Gamma was the MVP of the day, and it is one of 2 ways to deal with Nibiru, which I will get into a little bit later. But Gamma, it's really good going second, because when you're going second, you start off with no board, like nothing on your side of the field. They try to activate an effect and you go Gamma. Or, if they try to Ash your Cyber Emergency and you have nothing on the board, you can just go Gamma, negate the Ash, then you have these 2 bodies and you get your Search. So, and we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom Joyous Spring. It is a clutch card. I don't play 3 because, as a matter of deck building policy, I don't like playing 3 copies of once per turn hand traps unless it's absolutely necessary, and I think 2 copies was good enough. And again, I didn't have room for the 3rd, so we just played 2 copies of Ash there And that's it for the monsters. Now moving on to the spells, we have 3 copies of Machine Duplication, which is the win condition of the deck. Pretty much if you resolve Machine Duplication, you should win the match.
Your go-to spell card.
Yep, that is something that you definitely want to see. And since we play like 9 valid targets for it, 3 core, the 3 Herz, the 3 Natster, and then we have the 3 Cyber Emergencies, which you'll see in a bit.
But these are kind of Cyber Dragons while on the field.
Well, face up on the field.
So in other words, you get your free Cyber Dragons regardless.
Yes, so you basically what you do here is you'd have core, for example, then you Machine Duplication, target the core, and then you can special summon 3 Cyber Dragons to the field, or, well, 2 Cyber Dragons. Because that counts as Cyber Dragon while face up on the field. So yeah, 3 copies of Machine Duplication is your win con of the deck, one of your main win cons. And then we have the triple copies of Cyber Emergency, which is the absolute best card Cyber Dragons got in the last year. Like, this card used to be a $4 card. It is now like $25 to $30 card and deserves its price tag. Like, this is the reinforcements of the army for the deck. This is without a doubt the card that you want to run 3 copies of. It is one of your starter cards. And the interesting thing is, it can add a Cyber Dragon monster. It's not restricted to just Cyber Dragon. It can add like Cyber Dragon Core, Cyber Dragon Herz, etc. Or a light machine type monster that cannot be normal summoned, such as Cyber Eltonin. Though I don't play that in this deck, but if you are playing Cyber Eltonin, you can search it out with Cyber Emergency. And I know some people are going to be like, why do you only play 1 Repair Plant? Well, bear with me here. Cyber Repair Plant, I only play 1 of now because it's an extender and not a starter, and you don't want to see 2 copies of it and not be able to resolve them. Plus, we have 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Natster now, so I can almost always have a Cyber Dragon monster at my disposal, so I don't need the 2nd copy of Repair Plant, and usually I just search out Galaxy Soldier with it anyways, or just a Cure. So 1 Repair Plant is enough. I never miss the 2nd copy. Next up, we have 1 copy of Cyber Rev System, which is another extender. It is the monster reborn of the deck, and it does not target, and you can special summon a Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard to the field. And like I said, it does not target, so they have to DD Crow on the spot. They can't wait for you to decide where you summon it from. So, like, they try to DD Crow the Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, you can just special summon 1 from your hand. MVP card of the day. Cyberload Fusion. Well, I said that about Gamma, but in terms of spell cards, MVP of the day. Like, most of the time, I will use this card to summon Cyber Twin Dragon out during the battle phase for a game ender. And I actually did that multiple times throughout the day. What this card does, it's Quick Play Fusion spell. It's searchable from Cyber Dragon Core because it does include Cyber in its name. You can use monsters on the field or in your face-up banished pile to special summon a machine monster that lists Cyber Dragon or a Cyber Dragon monster as one of its materials. The thing is, though, after this card resolves, only the fusion monster summoned can attack. So what you do is you just attack, and then you fusion summon with it for a game during the battle phase. 1 copy of Overload Fusion. We all know what that does. You banish fusion materials from your field or graveyard that's listed on a Dark Machine type fusion monster, and then you special summon that fusion monster. You fusion summon it. Standard. And the Foolish Burial, which is a nice starter. You can dump Herz and then grab a Cyber Dragon from your deck to the hand. You can dump Core, banish it to summon a Cyber Dragon monster. It's a nice little starter. It's there if you need it. And that's it for the spells. As for the traps, I played triple copies of Evenly Matched. Seeing as how this is a go second deck, this punishes overextension, baits out negation, and just, it really sticks the middle finger out to True Draco unless they have like a Solemn Judgment or something, which they appear to have more often than I like. But again, like in every go second variant, I usually main deck the Evenly Matches. I tried Twin Twisters over them in the main deck, but I preferred Evenly Matched. Triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. Again, great going second. You can activate it from your hand if you have no other cards on the field. And the neat thing about this is, I also like this going second because when my opponent sticks something like a negation on board, such as Naturia Beast or something else that's going to be a pain, if I don't have Jizakura, I can just use this from hand to negate their effects throughout the turn and do my thing. And Cybernetic Overflow, which generally is for going first, but I include it in the main deck because if I'm not confident I can actually close out the game that turn, and I think that something might prevent me from winning, I'll just search it out of core, and then I'll get my opponent down to a simplified game state, and I can just pop their stuff during their turn. This also works if my opponent tries to destroy it while it's face down, I can grab a Cyber Spell or Trap card from my deck to my hand, so it has some neat effects. And that's it for the main deck. Going over to the extra deck, we have one copy of Cyber Giant Sieger, one copy of Qualifier Genius. This shuts down floodgates. Has 3 interesting effects. It's unaffected by the effects of spell traps or activated link monster effects. Also, another thing is, if 2 monsters are special summoned to zones it points to, and I'm going to give you an example here, like say I have Cyber Dragon Core, and then I activate like Machine Duplication, Targeting Core, and I summon like Cyber Dragon to this zone, and this zone, they're summoned simultaneously there. So then I can add like a level 5 or higher machine type monster from my deck to my hand with Genius's effect. So I'd probably get to add like Galaxy Soldier or Jizakura, which is neat. Doesn't come up all that much, but it's not like it matters too much. And another effect is I can target one card I control and one card my opponents control, and both effects of those are negated. So it can shut down floodgates. Solomon Great Elmirage, which replaced Link Karibo. This card makes Cyber Repair Plant live turn 1 because it requires you to have a Cyber Dragon in the graveyard to use Repair Plant. And you can actually use Cyber Dragon Core or anything that you normal summon as Link material to summon it, and then your Repair Plant is live. MVP Link Monster of the Day, Cyframe Lambda. This is one of 2 ways I out Nibiru. With Lambda on field, I can activate my Cyframes even while I control monsters. And this actually came up during my round 8 match. Like, I got Lambda out, and then my opponent tried to Nibiru, and I'm like, Gamma. And my opponent's Nibiru was destroyed, and I managed to get, like, Gamma and Driver out on the board. And the great thing is, this is generic, so you only need 2 monsters. Any 2 monsters, I believe, except for tokens? Yeah, just 2 monsters in general. And the arrows are really good. They point down to your field, so your opponent can't use the arrows to link summon. And Nightmare Phoenix didn't really come up that much, if at all. I primarily have this in because I can out annoying floodgates, like there can be only one in Zombie World and stuff like that. I can just go like El Mirage plus a Cyber Dragon monster into Nightmare Phoenix and pop. And this has good synergy with Seedra because if we co-link it, not only do you get to discard the pop, but you also get a draw off of it. So that's why I like Nightmare Phoenix. Good generic removal. I play 4 XYZs, which are 2 Cyber Dragon Novas and 2 Cyber Dragon Infinities. Some people cut Infinity down to 1, and I don't really agree with that, because there'll be grindy games where you can't really revive your first Infinity, and you'll want to make a second one. So I definitely like 2 Nova, 2 Infinity. And then we play 6 fusions. MVP Fusion of the Day, Cyber Twin Dragon. This closed out a lot of games at that regional, including when against a Maju player. Because I used a card in my sideboard to bait out his Solemn Judgment, got him down to like 1750 life. And I got Cyber Twin on board. He tried to block an attack with Gizmek Orochi, which I attacked over, and then I got a second attack for games. So that won me game 3 against Maju. Double Chimeritic Rampage. I bumped it up to 2. I used to have it at 1. Because I found situations where I wanted to summon a second one to pop back row and stuff. And yeah, just 2 copies seems right, especially since I have Overload Fusion to Fusion summon 1, and then the option is Cyberload Fusion for the second if I can't get Twin out. 2 copies of Chimeritic Mega Fleet. Your contact, good way to get rid of opponent's extra monster zone monsters. Like, you summon a Cyber Dragon monster, even one that's face down, and you just link away their Extra Monster Zone to get Mega Fleet out. Becomes a 24 beater at minimum. 3600 beater if you get rid of two monsters in the Extra Monster Zone. And Chimera Tech Fortress. Great against in the mirror match. Very good for Jizukiro because again, it's always live if you have a Jizukiro on their board and a Cyber Dragon on your side of the field. It gets 1000 attack per material that you use for its summon. And these cannot be used as fusion material monsters. So they cannot like Super Poly or Mega Fleet or Fortress away. Which is very handy. And the sideboard. I sided in 2 Ghost Ogres. I was debating between this, Drolls, or DD Crows. But I ultimately decided to go with Ogres because it would hit more stuff like True Draco, Guru, if you want to get rid of the Hidden City, Pendulums. Which Droll would have taken care of as well, but again, Droll doesn't really do much versus... Droll's a -1 versus Guru, so I wanted like Ogre to kill off the Hidden City and such. So yeah, Draco, Guru, Pendulums. The rare occasion that you get rid of Altergeist stuff, and this also works against multi-roll for Sky Striker. 2 Nibiru. When I bubbled in main 2 weeks prior to the regional, I actually main decked Nibiru, but I moved it to the sideboard because it really isn't that good in the main deck because there's not a lot of decks outside of Orcus and Salamangreat that special summon more than 5 times. I guess Thunder, but they don't really need to special summon all that much to get a board out. So I moved it to the sideboard in favor of Gammas, and it actually worked out really well. I was only positioned to play this once throughout the regional, and that was versus Salamangreat. Because I had it in hand, and my opponent, we went into time, and my opponent was trying to get a board out to try to out me and get as much damage. But before he goes into battle phase, I would just go Nibiru, and, well, he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. I did side in against Heroes, but I never saw it. Triple Lancia for the Orcus matchup, Grand Maju. Anything that banishes, even Thunder Dragon. I saw this against Orcus, and I saw this against Maju. I didn't play Thunder Dragon at all, but it's a really good blowout card versus them. In the Heat, the 2 copies of Enemy Controller. Now, I played this over Mind Control because my thought was it adds not only disruption, because if you go first, you can just set it and, you know, disrupt their link summoning and whatnot. Or you can prevent them from hitting you for direct damage via attack. But it also lets you dodge effects at target. So, say I normal summon Cyber Dragon Core, and I activate its effect, and they attempt to activate like Effect Veiler or Infinite Impermanence or anything. You chain Enemy Controller, tribute the core as cost, and steal a monster on their side of the field. And now their target is gone, so Effect Veiler, Infinite Impermanence, Widow Anchor, whatever doesn't resolve, and you get a search, plus you have a monster of theirs that you can use. And you can also use this to steal like their Plasma or Dark Law. Like, I will normal summon Core, activate effect as Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Enemy Controller, tribute Core, take control of their Dark Law, Plasma, even Thunder Dragon Colossus. And when we go to Core's Chainlink, I can actually resolve it properly and get the search. And Dark Law does not take a card from my hand because Dark Law is under my control at that point. So, the interesting thing is, this is what actually beated out the Solemn Judgment in my round 3 match. Like, I didn't get to use Enemy Control for what it was intended for throughout the tournament, but I did side in against Maju as a way to just block an attack from Maju. He went to swing with a 6700 attack Maju. I flipped Enemy Controller, attempted to switch it to defense, and a Solemn Judgment did it, which brought his life down to about 1700. And I don't know how I got rid of the Maju. I think it was through Overflow, but 2 turns later, I summoned Core, attacked directly, he chained Gizmek Orochi, summoned it to the field, and I had Cyberload in hand, so I used Cyberload to return the Core on field, plus a banish Cyber Dragon to summon the Cyber Twin. And Cyber Twin attacked over the Orochi, and then attacked him for game. So that was pretty hilarious. So yeah, that unintentionally won me my round 3 match. Next up, we got the triple copies of Twin Twister. For this event, I opted Twin Twisters over Cosmics, because I want to hit more back row with it. And normally, I don't know, this card is kind of a bit much, considering I also need discards for like Galaxy Soldier and such, but It does hit multiple back row, which is a big problem for Cyber Dragons. So, and I actually did side this in against Sky Striker, and I hit a lot of back row and won the match as a result. And last but not least, triple copies of Red Reboot, which I had this in for against True Draco, against Altergeist, Subterror, but it actually came in during my round 8 match against Trap Tricks. Yeah, I faced Trap Tricks during round 8. It was X1 until they faced me, and I side this in game 2. I summoned a monster. He tried to do something. I forget what trap he used, but I went Red Reboot, and that pretty much sealed the game for me and won me the round 8 match. So yeah, my matchups were round 1, I beat Salamangreat. Round 2, I lost to Orcus. The Orcus player won the entire thing, which is fine. I mean, I wasn't too bothered by that. Round 3, I beat Maju. Round 4 and 5, I beat Sky Striker. Round 6, I beat Witchcrafter, which had an amazing record up until that point. It was kind of strange. Round 7, I beat Heroes, and then round 8, I beat the Trap Tricks, and I got 3rd place overall with a 7-1 record. And yeah, that is the top 4 deck profile for the Denver, Colorado Regional. It happened on November 9th. I know this deck profile is a bit late, but the information is still very valid because nothing in Mystic Fires is really meta breaking. The meta is still the same as it was back in November, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and yeah, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG action on my Rebooted channel, and thanks for watching, guys.